rare beast indeed. A Virgin Australia Boeing 777 about to depart with me on board to Los Angeles. Now, Virgin Australia has always been a difficult airline to travel with, even if you want to, and it's now reduced its routes to just one solitary long-haul destination, Los Angeles. So here we are at Brisbane International, which has a new business class lounge in the international terminal. They seem like a luxury indeed, considering there are just 37 business class seats on one flight a day, but there are a few other short-haul international flights on Virgin 2, all of whom get access to this sort of Virgin lounge. It's operated by UK-based number one lounges and welcomes anyone for a fee. There's also an all-day bar, including cocktails such as a Virgin Flamingo with pink gin. Quite cosy, with room for 108 passengers and pretty much brand new, even if it has a sort of pop-up feel, seemingly plonked in the middle of the terminal. It's just a short walk to our Boeing 777, one of Virgin Australia's fleet of 5 of the wide bodies. And there's the Virgin Australia Business Class cabin. Had a refit lately, and now uses the well-regarded Collins Aerospace Super Diamond reverse herringbone seats that are found on Qatar Airways too, but styled for Virgin Australia's market with proper colours and more storage spaces. Menus at our seat as soon as we're on board, plus the amenity kit. The menu includes both volumes of the wine list and the cocktails, plus breakfast to order. It's good to see that Virgin Australia still provide a decent business class amenity kit. You can see it here. It's got an eye mask, toothbrush, paste, purple striped socks, earplugs, a pen and tissues. Now, pre-flight champagne was flowing. Each seat's at an angle to the main cabin and every seat has aisle access. This means there's only a small cubby hole for your feet, but this isn't too much of a problem. Almost every seat has 2 windows too. Every seat has a height-adjustable armrest, which lowers in the sleeping mode to make more space, and which has a small stowage area for noise-cancelling headphones and a water bottle. Those headphones are good, as is the in-flight entertainment. There's a large 18-inch high-definition display in front of the seat, which is turned on as soon as you sit down, and available right up until the gate at landing. I was a little disappointed with the selection of films, which was fairly basic. However, there are a large number of TV series and audiobooks. There are pyjamas at the seat too, and also 2 stowage compartments with space for electronic devices. The main one has a mains 120 volt plug socket, plus a USB charging port and headphone socket. The main power socket is too close to the bottom of the cabinet for many charges, with the transformer in the plug. The screen has the usual moving map, and here we go for a relatively spirited takeoff out of Brisbane. Virgin Australia's Boeing 777s only fly between Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane to Los Angeles, having abandoned routes in the past to places as diverse as Abu Dhabi and Johannesburg. It's that route that makes the money, and that's been the sole focus of the airline's main wide bodies. It's also got A330s, which were designed for Perth and which were switched to Hong Kong and had an attempt at Tokyo. The in-flight entertainment played throughout takeoff, and there are a large number of Australian and UK releases instead of stuffing the system with cheap US series, which was a real bonus. You can control the IFE using either the touch screen or the IFE remote, which is in the stowage shelf, which saves having to lean forward in the big, large seat to touch the controls. Time now for cocktails, a Kira Royale in this case, while the crew warmed my nuts as we flew out over Moreton Island and out into the Pacific. The seat has excellent privacy, and indeed it's hard to see any other passengers. When we were in the cruise, tablecloths were laid, and then garlic bread, followed by the starter, Wagyu and goat's feta. It was full of flavour and went well with the Sauvignon Blanc. Spot those salt and pepper shaker sets in the shape of the Opera House sails. Alas, one member of the crew walked down the aisle warning that the Wagyu wasn't loaded. That was promptly followed by another who announced that it was, causing total confusion. Indeed, some of the crew seemed to be in training for my flight, and it took some prompts to get my wine topped up. On to the main course, braised beef with potato gratin, baby beans and green peppercorn mustard. It was great, with a lovely slab of mustard on top. And then for dessert I opted for the mango and coconut roulade with creme fraiche, which was a perfect way to finish off this meal service. I swapped onto the claret for the beef and then dessert wine, which was served from the bottle at my seat, and took the crew some time to find and eventually pour. There's much faster service in the walk-up bar, which was refitted in 2016, giving more seats opposite the bar. Fully stocked, but not self-service. There's Virgin Australia Wi-Fi at $9 for 1 hour. Within the business class cabin there are 3 toilets, which means that there's rarely a queue. In flight, I was determined to try the snacks. The cheese toastie, called a cheddar toasted truffle, or Australian for toasted sandwich, was just what I wanted mid-flight. I also tried the artisan cheese plate with grapes and Luke Mangan fig paste, although by this stage I'd eaten enough to keep me full for this life and quite possibly for the next. The cabin was divided between those who were flying for work and those who slept for most of the flight, and equally those who kept the party going in the bar until we were well over the equator. Lights on 2 hours before landing, then breakfast starts with a continental with croissant and cornflakes. Stand out with an espresso coffee, which offers a vastly upgraded coffee compared to most airlines on board. I selected the poached eggs with a side of sauteed mushrooms, roasted bacon, seasonal fruit and natural yogurt. The taste and flavour were very good, surprisingly so, for an airline breakfast. All meals designed by the celebrity chef Luke Mangan. Pretty close to landing now. Very good flight, actually. The business class seat is great, really top of the class. The in-flight bar as well is one major perk that Virgin has over Qantas and indeed over Delta, who co-chair with Virgin. Quite simply, the delight of being able to get out of my seat and walk to the bar is not to be underestimated. In-flight entertainment is so-so, decent large screen but not world-leading content. However, positive marks for the local content on board. Food itself is really good. Very, very good indeed, with decent local fare. Alas, the crew, they let it down a little bit. They were a bit inexperienced. But still, cost only 25,000 velocity points to upgrade to the pointy end in business for 14 hours compared to premium economy, which was a real bargain. And certainly compared to the nearly 5-figure cost of buying the seat itself. It's also a much more pleasant experience in business class now. You don't have to step over the person next to you. With the new cabins, you've got access to the aisle thanks to the new 1-2-1 layout, with direct aisle access from every seat. Cabin looks great with charcoal fabric covers, carpets and black textured seat shells contrasting nicely against the silver trim. Well, there we are in the early morning sunshine at Los Angeles, ready for a 3-hour queue at immigration. Rather a rude awakening after a great flight on Virgin Australia.